Hey everybody, welcome to our spooky October webinar today. We're real people here today. We will be with you shortly. We're just going to leave a few more minutes for a few folks to join us. We'll be right with you. Thanks. Hi, everybody. And happy Halloween to those of you celebrating it. And it's Vanessa from Envision. It's great to welcome everybody back. We've got a bumper crew with us today, which is really great. So thank you for making the time today to be with us for a really nice October webinar from Envision. We're going to be talking about what we've been waiting for, right? Ally on the Envision glasses. And what better to do that with both our founders today and Sean from our team, Sean Keane. You might also know from his Facebook group, which is huge now on AI for the blind. So we're really super excited to have such an expert in our team. So without further ado, if I could go to the next slide, I'm just going to run through the program where we're going to have that in conversation with Sean and Kartik. And then we're going to get under the hood straight away with Kartik Cannon, who's going to be telling us all about what's new on the Envision glasses, what's going on in the depths of the Envision labs. And then, of course, we're going to make as much time as we can for Q&As at the end. So I see some questions already coming up. Thank you for those. We will address those as best we can at the end of the webinar. So as always, let me get to the housekeeping. We are recording. We are now live on YouTube. And if you want to ask your questions as well, please do so at the end, as I mentioned before. And if you're invited to speak, Kartik always likes to invite people to speak who raise their hands. So when you do that, the keystroke to mute and unmute yourself is Alt+A for Windows and Command plus Shift plus A for Mac. Those are the shortcuts for unmuting yourself. But if you just want to ask questions on the Zoom call here, you can just put a question in the Q&A window, and that's all great. And again, to raise your hand there, you can just use Option Y on Mac and Alt Y on Windows to just raise your hands on Zoom. And on YouTube, just use the chat function. We'll be monitoring that and be putting those questions to the team as well. So without further delay, I'm going to hand over to Kartik and ask him to tell us a little bit about what's going on today and to talk to Sean. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa, for that lovely introduction. And hi, everyone. You're welcome to another amazing webinar of Envision. Your happy Halloween to all of you, those who are just are celebrating, and a happy Diwali to those who celebrate that. I happen to celebrate both, so it is a Diwali Aveen for me. But as of now, you're having a lot of fun here at Envision as we are starting to roll out Ally on all the platforms to all over the world. The invites started going out early this week. It is going out in batches. So if you are somebody who had filled up the beta form at ally.me, you will be getting an invite soon. So just keep an eye out on your inbox. The invites are being sent out in like batches. So every day, like we are sending out hundreds of them. So just keep an eye out on your inbox, and if you've already received an invite for Ally, do let us know about your experience with it. It's being launched on Android, iOS, and the web, uh, and also on the Envision glasses. Yes, that's correct. Much awaited. We now have a public beta of Ally working on Envision glasses. We'll talk a bit more about it, and we'll do a demo just for you to get an experience of how it feels to talk with Ally on the Envision glasses, the first wearable in the world to actually have a continuous, AI assistant on the glasses that's always looking through the camera and able to describe the world around to you in the way that you want it. So my friend and a colleague Kartik Karnan will be doing a demo of that in the webinar here today. And those of you who have received the beta invite would already be used to playing around with it. And one of those people who has been playing around with Ally on the phone, on the web, and on the glasses for a while is another a friend of mine here, Sean Keen. So, without any further ado, I'd like to invite Sean on the panel so we can get to know him a bit more and talk to him about all the fun things that he's been up to. Hey, Sean, how are you doing today?
Good, Karthik. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here. For the benefit of the audience, like today, Sean, can you really quickly introduce yourself? Talk to us about what your origin story is and how you got so fascinated about AI.
Yeah, thank you so much. So once again, my name is Sean Keen, and first and foremost, I'm a blind guy. I'm totally blind. I can't see anything, and so I not only help sell this technology, but I also use it in my daily life. So a little bit about me. I'm not real scary looking today. At least I hope not. Except for maybe the gray hair. But I'm a Caucasian man. I'm about 50 years old. I'm about 5'8" with grayish brown hair and blue eyes, and I'm wearing a pair of Envision glasses right now with the black frames. And I'm like I said, I'm blind. I used to be a technology trainer. I've done a number of things over the years, and I joined Envision back in March. And something you might know me from is the Facebook group I run called AI for the Blind. And the last I looked this morning, it was right hovering around 4,973 members. So I'm hoping during this webinar it'll cross over 5,000. So that's me. I'm glad to be here and happy to help.
Awesome, amazing, stuff that you've been up to with AI for the blind. Sean, all the images that you generate out there is pretty fascinating. But maybe let's sort of talk today about Ally and like how you see the AI assistant space evolve. So you have been sort of playing around with Ally for a while, since the very beginning, I would say, and you're sort of you've seen it evolve over the time. Can you sort of, in your own words, explain how Ally is sort of different from any other AI that you see out there?
Sure, sure. And I love this stuff. It really excites me, and I'm really happy to be a part of your vision for this. And the way I understand it and the way that really gets me excited is this Ally is an AI assistant, and it's a computer system that basically you can communicate with. And I know that sounds crazy, but so does getting descriptions of items and being able to read text, all because of a computer. So that's pretty wild too. But this AI assistant is going to allow people to integrate it to their daily life. So, what if you had an app on your phone, or what if you had a feature on your glasses that allowed you every morning when you got up to say, "What's on my calendar for today?" And then the device responds to you and says, "Hey, you got a couple of meetings coming up at 9 and 11 this morning, and then you're gonna have a meeting over at Envision Dallas at 1." That's where I'm at right now. This Envision, one of our partners and all. I'm at Envision Dallas. They're letting me use some office space and their Wi-Fi to do this podcast. So quick thanks to them for that. But this assistant will help you to do better. Will help you to have more accessibility in your life, to have more freedom in your life. Because what you'll be able to do with it is get a catch up on your calendar and get organized and so what if that assistant, after it gets done telling you all that, says, "Oh, by the way, you have a report due at 10 a.m. this morning." And then you're like panicked and you're worried and you're thinking, "How am I going to get all this ready?" And you just tell your assistant, "Can you pull all the materials together so I can get that report ready?" And it does all that while you're making your cup of coffee. And that kind of technology is exciting to me because I really like this technology and I want to make my life more easy and more more exciting, have more fun time to do fun stuff instead of planning my day. And that's kind of the uh, vision that I get with Ally. And what excites me about it is finally someone's making an accessible AI assistant.
Great, great. Yeah, I think that sort of covers it pretty well, and I think I also I love the vision of the future that you've been talking about here. Um, Maybe it'll be interesting for me to pick your brain on the three aspects of ally that we often talk about, right? The conversational, your personal, and the ubiquitous nature of it. Let's start with the conversational aspect of it. I think you did just like touch upon that a bit already. That how it's easy to just speak to it and ask for very specific things. Can you sort of explain how does this add to the experience? Just being able to have a conversation with an AI or with a technology, how does that your benefit or add to the experience as opposed to the like ways of technology interface that we were used to earlier?
Yeah, so and that's another part that's so exciting about this whole conversational AI is that you don't really have to learn how to do it. You don't have to get any specific training. You already do that every day. You talk, you communicate with people, and that's what's so exciting about this assistant is you can use your own language, your own words. You could probably talk to it in Pig Latin if you wanted to and get a response that is tailored to you. So all of the customization is so exciting because a lot of people don't want to have to learn how to use AI. They just want to be able to talk to it and make it work, and that's what this allows.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think you put it very well. Like, yeah, there's no need to like learn the syntax or the specific words. Just ask, and you shall receive. Let's talk about the personalization part of it, right? That's the part that makes this assistant truly a personal assistant. And there are two components to it, right? Where it sort of understands you personally. You can your volunteer information about you, offer it access to things about you, and then it can sort of use that as context to help you. But you can also add a personality to the AI that you are interacting with. Can you talk to a bit about your like the way that you have done the personalization for you, and how has that been a benefit to you?
I've had so much fun with that, both in games and just playing around and doing silly stuff and serious stuff. So, um, personalizing this is so exciting because I can have it respond to me, or I could set up to respond to my mother or my wife or my friend. That's the customization in it that you can set up a prompt for the assistant to. For you to customize it how you want it to respond to you specifically. Maybe you put in your details of what you like to eat and some health allergies or something, so it knows that kind of information. That's personalized, but maybe it also knows you have specific requirements, like when you want things described. You want everything described without color. And the reason is you're totally blind, you've never seen color, and it just kind of gets in the way. And that's a real conversation I've had with people. It was kind of foreign to me, but hey, the personalization of the assistant allows you to do that not only from the user standpoint. You get two prompts. You can set up your personal preferences, and you can also set up the AI's preferences. Maybe you want it to respond like a perfectionist, or maybe you want it to respond like Robin Williams.
Exactly, exactly. And I think just to stay on that a bit more, I think you and I were at the NIB, a conference in Arlington, Virginia, about a couple of weeks ago, and it was very interesting talking to the NIB agencies out there and sort of explore the whole aspect of personalizing Ally for their use case, right? Where we were able to build examples of an ally that can access the knowledge base of these agencies, can access inventory management in there. So where if you happen to be somebody who works at one of these NIB agencies, you can simply ask it for how much inventory of something is there, or where the location of something is, or you can ask it to your like a read through a compliance document and fetch your specific information. Can you talk to us a bit more about the conversations that we had at the conference, and like what was your insights from that?
Well, and let me just kind of answer that in kind of a story, because as I mentioned, I'm sitting here at Envision Dallas, which is an NIB organization, and they have a beautiful new facility here. It's huge. I don't even know how many square feet it is, but it's enormous and just lots of room for jobs for blind people. And so when you're blind and you're in an atmosphere like this, it's really large, and there's a lot of space. That can be a challenge because we can't see and we can't look around and see where things are. So the AI Alley Assistant integration with work and being able to connect this amazing technology to, say, an inventory system or something like that. In doing creative ally things like that, now you have a blind shipping manager. So it's really great, the personalization. It's really great that it's conversational and that it's going to be on multiple platforms. But it's really great overall that it could help blind people get more jobs.
Yeah, no, I think that that future and that whole like a collaboration that we have just started to scratch the surface of is really exciting, and hopefully we have some exciting updates for our audience on that. But if you happen to be somebody who is working at an NIB agency, or at an agency which is specifically employing people who are blind or have a low vision, do reach out to us. We are sort of putting together a whole Ally for Enterprise thing, which is pretty exciting. But to go back to the conversation, and to go back to the third aspect of Ally, which is the ubiquity, Sean, like you have played with Ally on your phone, you've played with Ally on the web, and now you're playing with Ally on the glasses. Can you talk to us about how being able to have this consistent experience across these different devices, how uh, that is helpful, and talk to us a bit about what your experience of Ally on the glasses has been so far.
Yeah, well, it's just been really inclusive. I think that's a good word to use because this allows me to be more independent as a blind person. And as a blind person, just working and going to the grocery store, or picking up the kids or whatever I'm doing, anything that improves my independence is great. And what makes this even better is just what you said, that it's both on the web, it's on the glasses, it's on the phones, so it's everywhere. I mean, who knows? Maybe someday it'll be on Alexa or Google, the speakers as well. I mean, that'd be an interesting addition to it. But just like anybody else that has vision and leads a normal life, I, as a blind person, the capabilities of, maybe I start a conversation on my glasses about my schedule and then I finish it on the computer. That's the kind of that's the vision you're building here.
Yeah, exactly. And the like the aim is to have those handoff be as seamless as possible, so that you're sort of like your ally is always there for you no matter where you are. Maybe then just stepping off, I think I would definitely want to hear more stories from you. So, can you maybe tell us sort of like what is the most memorable thing that Ally has it done for you? Something that like surprised you, or something that you think was really a memorable incident?
Well, I play around with a lot of AI tools, and you used a word earlier about context, and that's what's really neat about AI is it learns from you. It kind of learns kind of what you mean sometimes when you say things. So I was sitting out. I just moved recently, and I was sitting out at my old house in the backyard on a chair, facing like just facing the backyard. I was up against the house, and I was sitting out, and I was like, okay, I just got this new update. I'm gonna try it out, and I opened the assistant on my phone, and I took a picture, well, actually, what I did is I told the phone what's in front of me, and it took a picture and described the pool in front of me, the backyard in front of me, all of those kinds of things. And then I took my camera and just moved it to the right, like to the right side of my body, and said, "How about over here?" And it took another picture, and then I moved back to the left side and said, "How about on this side?" And and I think I actually recorded this. I think this might be on my podcast, but it said something about there's a garage over there with some siding that looks like it needs some repairs. So I put my phone down and I said, "Thanks a lot," and it said, "No problem."
That's incredible. Yeah, Sean, I think you're sort of keep you're sharing these moments with us, and yeah, this has been exciting. And I think the exciting aspect of all of this is that this is just us scratching the surface, right? This is the worst this technology is ever going to be, right? Like it's only going to get
Right.
better from this point on. So it's a very exciting your process and a future to be a part of.
It,
But I
if
think if yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna mention one more thing, a little bit of nerd talk, but I heard something on the news the other day that Chat GPT-5 was coming out soon, and what shocked me about that is they said it was 100 times better than four.
Yeah,
Uh,
I hope so too. I think there are a lot of rumors that's always you're floating around. So yeah, like it is an exciting your future to be hopeful about. And maybe just talking about the future, right? Like I would like if in your understanding of the way this technology has evolved so far, what would you believe the future of Ally should be? Like what do you expect Ally to do in, like 2, 3 years time or 5 years time? Like what kind of things do you think Ally could be capable of if we look into the future?
I think and I've been telling people that are blind in my group and all that AI and for blind people is really like the invention of Braille. And I really believe that because it Ally project and how this all evolves, like you said, this is the beginning. But in 2 to 5 years, I think blind people are going to be doing jobs like video editing and social media managers and doing all this stuff that right now is really visual. I don't think we'll be driving, so y'all can stay on the roads. I don't think we'll be flying any planes or anything like that. I mean, it's possible, but I mean, maybe I'll be totally surprised. I mean, I honestly didn't think I'd ever be able to make an image from typing some text into a computer. So I could be wrong, but I do think this is a technology that allows blind people to kind of level the playing field. And so I'm excited in 2 to 5 years for not for us to be talking about what AI is doing, but to be talking about what blind people are doing.
That's a great way to put it, Sean. Thank you so much for being on. This has been a wonderful conversation. I would request you to stay on till the end. So if there are anyone from our attendees, if they have a question, they would like, probably want to ask you. I would definitely ask you to stick around. But appreciate you to taking off the time and coming and having a chat with us.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me here. And if anybody has any questions or wants anything from us from Envision, contact me. I'm always here.
Great. Thanks, Sean. With that, let's go into the final segment of the webinar before we jump into the Q&As, would be Under the Hood with Karthik Kanan. And Karthik has for us an exciting, I think a demo is what I have you heard of. So let's see if the demo, our gods are going to be kind to us. And without any further ado, I'm going to hand off the microphone to Karthik Kanan.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for that intro and a little appeasement to the demo gods before we start. But today's Halloween, so you never know, things will be working topsy-turvy. I have with me a pair of Envision glasses that's currently running Envision Ally on it. And like what Sean and Karthik have been having a conversation, we've been trying to bring Ally to as many platforms as possible. And obviously, the glasses is going to be one of them. And it's my favorite platform to experience Ally itself. So I've got the glasses here connected to a speaker, and I'm going to go ahead and bring on my Ally. And if you've been in the past webinars, my Ally is quite sassy and it's a 1930s always pissed off comedian. But for today, I decided to switch things up and bring on a more mature, responsible ally to go ahead and be part of the conversation, right? So I'm going to wear my glasses.
Hi.
Okay, I've got this connected to a speaker, and one of the things that we did with this update is that we've also made the time to connect to an ally really fast. So all you have to do is just hit a button, and within a few seconds, you can get started talking to an ally.
Good day. How can I assist you today?
So hey ally, could you go ahead and tell me roughly what kind of plants are there on my windowsill? Probably give me like a plant species, identify the species if you can.
Let me take a look. The plants on your windowsill appear to be 1. The plant on the left, likely a Platycoleus, with its colorful foliage. 2. The plant in the middle, looks like a wet jade plant, Crassula ovata, due to its thick, fleshy leaves. 3. The plant on the right, appears to be a peperomia.
So, of all the 3 plants that you've seen on my windowsill, which one do you think is the healthiest?
Let me take a look. Based on the image, the middle plant in the blue pot looks the healthiest.
Okay, so that's
It appears to have
definitely that's the one that I'm watering. The rest, the unhealthy ones are watered by my partner. So, yeah, So, I also wanted to ask you, Ally, could you like go ahead and describe, how my desk looks like, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you how cluttered is it?
Let me take a look. Your desk has a mix of items on it: a laptop with a meeting in progress on the screen, a large microphone in front of the laptop, a planner or notebook labeled Liner L next to a wireless charging pad or coaster, a large glass bottle and some other small items, possibly food or kitchen related, a vase with flowers in the background, adding some visual clutter. On a scale of 1 to 10 for clutter, I'd rate your desk at around 6. It has a fair number of items.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem...
I've been busy working on Ally, so cut me some slack there, please.
Understood. Just trying to help. Need further assistance?
Yeah. Could you go ahead and read this text that I'm holding right now?
Let me take a look. The text reads, founded in 1912 by Harriet Monroe, volume 225, number 2. Would you like to know more about the content?
Yeah.
The text indicates information possibly pertaining to a historical document, journal, or magazine established in 1912 by Harriet Monroe, with details for volume 225, number 2. Harriet Monroe is known for founding Poetry magazine in 1912. Is this related to a magazine or publication you have?
Yeah, this is actually the poetry magazine. So I'm actually looking at a Turkish poem right now. Could you go ahead and translate that poem for me in English?
Let me see the poem you're referring to. Please hold it up.
Yep.
Let me take a look. Here's the English translation for the Turkish poem titled Yoksulluk. Yoksulluk, ne suçum var tanrım, ne bahanem, ne okyanusta kayboldum. Başımı annem kızları bulutlarda, ananın kokusu mis dolu yüzyılları. İhtiyarız bu iblisin seyreyleyecek umudunu. Biliyorsun benimle gelen geri benzinle gitmeyecek. Ne de olsa orada doğmama yıldızları parlak taşla ütületeceğim. English translation. The journey. Oh God, I have neither a sin, nor a reason in the ocean. My head in my mother's arms. The
What do
scent-filled
you think the
century.
poem is about?
The poem titled Yoksulluk, Poverty, seems to explore themes of hardship and struggle. It speaks of a sense of helplessness and longing, a plea to a higher power for understanding.
Okay. Can you, you're actually being demoed live on a webinar right now. Do you have something to say as a parting goodbye to all the webinar attendees? And also it's Halloween, so, make a joke about it maybe.
Certainly, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure to assist you today. As I always say, even in the shadows, I remain at your service. Now for a Halloween joke. Why do ghosts make good cheerleaders? Because they have a lot of spirit. Happy Halloween to all and take care.
All right. Thank you, Alai. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye and have a wonderful day.
Oh, all right.
More features.
Okay. So that was Alai running on the glasses on a live demo. So the demo gods were definitely in our favor. So anyone who has a pair of Envision glasses today, and if you're on the beta, you can go ahead and use the Envision glasses. So what's actually up and coming with Alai? A few things. One, starting from next week, you would be able to go ahead and ask Alai about the weather. Soon you'll be able to also ask Alai about your calendar as well. We're going to be bringing Alai on the web. So not only can you go ahead and use Alai on your phone, on the glasses, you can also use it on your desktop. We're also going to give Alai capabilities such as being able to search the web for you and so much more in the coming weeks. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be packed into Alai from this moment on till the end of the year. A lot of exciting updates. But these are the few things that we are working on right now, and they're all going to be available to you shortly. So if you haven't already, go ahead and sign up for a beta of the Alai. We're opening up the waitlist super fast, and I'd love to go ahead and for you all to go try it. So back to Vanessa and Karthik. Once again, wishing you all a happy Halloween, happy Diwali, and yeah, see you soon.
Cool. Thank you. I'm just checking through some of these questions, but I think we're going to be busy with that in a little while. But also, it's not just the season of all good things spooky and lovely like Diwali and Halloween, but it's also event season again. And so our US team, as you heard, are on the road attending events, doing meetings, which is brilliant. And on this side of the Atlantic as well. So we've got a couple of events that I wanted to share with you for those of you based in Europe, at least. So we have the Ogenbeurs, which is our one of the annual events held in the Netherlands for assistive technologies for people who are blind and low vision. That is happening in Utrecht, in the center of the country, on actually tomorrow and Saturday. And my colleague, or our colleague, Ferkan, is going to be working on and giving workshops there for both those days. And we're going to be on the stand there with our distributor partners called Sensortech. So if you're going to the Ogenbeurs, look for us there. And the other one is in London next week. I will be there with my colleague Priyanka at Sight Village London. That's actually in Kensington, a nice part of London, and we'll be there for the day. And finally, our own event, which we're involved with the Bartimeus Fonds here in the Netherlands. But this is called Inclusive Innovation. So it's our third year in a row doing this event. This time it's in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. It's on November the 11th. And we've got a great lineup of tech innovators, actually, assistive technology innovators from a wide range of accessibility needs, not just around sight, but within hearing, mobility, navigation, and all sorts of wonderful things. Now, you can find out all about these events through our website, of course. That's www.letsenvision.com and /events. And that's spelled LETSENVISION.com /events, EVENTS. And if you go there, you will have a read up on these events, and you'll have a contact person there as well if you want to get in touch with one of us who will be there. So that's where we are on the road. Anyway, back to you, Kartik.
All right. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Karthik Kannan. That was a great demo and a great webinar overall. I'm sure there are plenty of questions. I'm going to do my best to get through as many of them in the 20 odd minutes that we have now. There are several ways of asking a question. You can either use the raise hand feature on Zoom, and then I will invite you on the panel, and you can ask us your questions directly. If not, you can put your question in the question and answer option within the Zoom. That's also a way to ask us your question. We're also keeping an eye on the comments on YouTube. So if you're watching this the webinar on the YouTube, please also put your questions in the comments there. Okay, so let me begin first with just going through some of the Q&A. A question which starting with a question from Beth, who's asking instant and constant video scene description at some point, question mark. Yes, Beth. I think we are nearly there with the demo that you saw. It's almost as good as having a real time like a description of things around you, because of how snappy and how fast it is. So yeah, I think we are almost there, if not already. Then there is a question of someone from Yusuf, who's asking, when I'm looking to installing the beta on Envision Glasses, I noticed an issue with IRA, so decided to hold off. Has it been solved yet or not? We are sort of working through a few issues. So just for people to know, these are a public beta, so this is still not a production version. We need to sort of iron through some issues before we can actually launch this to production. So this is a beta, so only for the beta testers it's available. But within a few weeks, if we can iron out all the like the chinks that are currently existing, we'll be pushing it to beta soon. Then there is a question which is there is a question from Yusuf, who says the translation of the Turkish poem was impressive. Who was the author? If Kartik Kannan, if you could answer Yusuf in the chats with that, that'll be great. Okay. A bunch of questions about Meta glasses and when will Ally be on it. Honestly, I cannot give you a date or any sort of indication on it as of yet. We are in conversations. These things often tend to take long, just because given the scale of things. So there's nothing that we can publicly announce as of yet. But there's constant conversation and development in progress. The minute we can talk about it, we will talk about it more confidently. But we are engaged with the right team and in the right way. Okay. Cool. I will then start picking up the questions from the people who have their hands up. I'm gonna bring in first and foremost Rick Hodgkins. Rick actually has his hand up for a while now, since the beginning of the webinar. So hey Rick, you can unmute yourself and ask us your question.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Hey Rick, we can hear you.
Good.
What's up?
Good day from people. Good day from the state of California, from the United States and North America. So, I am so glad to become a beta tester because I received the invite earlier this week. I think it was yesterday morning. Can someone please email me the link? I have not only my Apple iPhone, but I would prefer to use the Ally with my Envision glasses. So can someone please email me the link to set up with the glasses? And will the Ally be able to assist me with the following? So chores around the house, such as cleaning, cooking, laundry, traveling around the community, helping me cross streets, and helping me make sure that I'm able to stay within the crosswalk or on the sidewalk as I'm crossing driveways. Will it also read sign? I have a girlfriend who's deaf. I did not discover her. She discovered me. So that will it help me to communicate with her because she uses sign language? That type of thing.
Got it. Rick. Thanks for this question. So to answer the first part, the email that you would have received with an invite to the beta of the iOS app, that email also contains instructions and a link for how to get the beta on the Envision Glasses. If for some reason you don't have it, if you're already on the Slack channel of the beta, your testers, just you send someone from Envision a message there, or just drop a message from in one of the Slack channels, and we will just send you the link and the instructions on how to get the beta of Ally on your Envision glasses. Regarding the second part of your question, that's a bit more nuanced. We're sort of building Ally as a visual assistant, which will sort of have increasingly higher capabilities as we continue to develop and evolve it. So it will be able to do a lot of things for you going forward in the future. But I think we'll have to sort of see how it evolves, right? For example, it might not do the laundry for you. You might still be the one to do it, but it will definitely be able to assist you as to sort of what kind of settings you need to have, or understand the display.
That's
on
what I'm
the
asking
washing
it
machine.
to point to visualize. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not asking it to take over. I'm asking it to help me decide how to make sure that if I want cold water, make sure the washer is on cold water. If I want hot water, make sure it's on hot water. Check the water level. Make sure I'm pressing the button to make sure the water level is at the right height or the right level. Will it help me to navigate if I'm going to and from the bus stop? Will it help me to make sure I'm within the lines of the crosswalk? Or if I'm crossing a driveway on the sidewalk, will it make sure that I'm not going out into the street or onto the driveway, that type of thing? Because I want to be able to get out and travel more like I used to before. I was always blind because of damage to my brain, but I lost more sight because of retinopathy. So that's why
Got it.
Yeah.
No, completely understand. I think that is the goal, to make Ally more reliable. But regarding the stuff like, are you on the sidewalk, or if there is it a safe to cross? I think eventually AI will get there, where the reliability and accuracy is going to be so high that you can put your entire your faith in it. But I would say, for now, always think of Ally as more a complementary and an additional tool. I would not depend on Ally for instances where there is significant a risk involved, right? So if you are out and about, even though Ally will do a decent job, I'm sure, of letting you know if there are obstacles on your path, and if there is if you're on like sidewalk or not. But I wouldn't put all your faith in it just yet, because at the end of the day, it is still an Ally. It is still an AI, And even though the accuracy of the AI is pretty high, it's still not 100%. So for the time being, until we hit a next stage in evolution of AI, I would say use it as a complementary tool to your other existing assistive tools. And as it evolves, you'll be able to judge and gauge for yourself how much of a faith you want to put in the outputs of Ally as opposed to your other RS senses and assistive tools.
Autumn.
Will it help me to make sure food is done when I'm cooking it, though?
To a certain extent, like as much as it can do visually, it will. But a cooked food is a lot more than just the visual elements. Right now, the ally can just see what the camera is able to capture. So from a visual standpoint, like you saw in the example with Karthik, where it was able to determine whether a plant is healthy or not just by the visuals of it. It can sort of also determine if food is cooked or not by just the visuals. But again, like there is a lot more to a food being cooked than just the visuals. So definitely, sort of use it as something to help you, but don't really put all your faith in Ally's answers. Also sort
All
of
right. I
use your
just feel I
own.
need to experiment. I think I need to experiment with it to see what it does.
Definitely.
I'm, in addition to being blind, I'm also, contrary to belief, I'm also popular belief, I'm also mentally challenged. And so I feel I'm at the mercy of humans that are sighted. And if a sighted human is not around, I feel like my emotions kick in and I need to rely on AI. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So I'm also mentally challenged, always have been. Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely experiment with that trick. I think you will discover a lot about this on your own as you start playing around with it. Thanks for your questions, and yeah, I wish you have a good day. Thank you so much. I'm gonna bring on Jose on the panel. Jose, if you can unmute yourself and ask us your question.
Yes, I have three quick questions. First, it's going to require access to our hotspots, right? For the Ally to work when we're out and about.
Yes, so Ally is based on internet, as of now. So yes, you would need internet in order to use Ally, at least for the time being.
Okay, and then my second question is, would we able to aid in navigation? Like, let's say, for example, I go down to Disney Springs a lot. Would be able to navigate me from the end, like to a movie theater or to one of the restaurants down there?
And as of now, no, because there isn't really a GPS on like the glasses, but even on the phone, we don't really sort of do that kind of GPS style navigation as of yet. So as of now, that's not the kind of use cases that we are focusing on. At some point, eventually, I think it'll be great to integrate with some service that we can also integrate inside of Ally. But in the short term, your point-to-point navigation is not something that we are focusing on.
And my last question is, for instance, let's say I do go down to a movie or watch something that does not have an audio description service. Will the Ally be able to do a description for me?
Description of a movie in a real time, technically yes. So it can sort of describe each your scene as it comes. But I'm not sure if it's going to be fast enough for it to keep up with the changing scenes, or if it'll be as good as like an inbuilt audio description. So it's definitely some things that our users have been experimenting with, and they've sort of come back to us and said that it somewhat works, but it is definitely a trial and error because that's not exactly what this kind of technology is intended for. So it should your work, but it won't work to the level of accuracy that you might be expecting it to work. So you can experiment with it for sure, but I won't really be able to sort of speak to how well it will work in that particular use case.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. right. Let's go back to the Q&A. There's a question from Steve who says, is it running local on device or must you need an internet connection? Steve, for now, a big chunk of the processing for Ally is happening on the servers, but we are constantly putting efforts to bring as much stuff offline as possible. But yeah, in the short term, it will need an internet connection. Okay. There's a question which says, "Hi, Ally, everything. Thank you. Am I to talk with it only in English, or can I converse with it in a German?" Uh, Olaf, for now, it's not fully optimized for other languages. It is something that's in the pipeline, and we will definitely you have it in one of the subsequent updates. The first version that we are building, it is only optimized for English. We have had people who have sort of played around with different languages, and it does somewhat work. But because it was not sort of built with that kind of a localization as of yet, it's optimized for English, but it can understand some level of German amongst other languages. But in a subsequent update, which should happen, before the end of this year, we will have the multilingual capability of Ally as well. There is a question from Shinji who asks if we need a 2024 a pass for Ally. Yes. So if you have Envision Glasses, you either need a 2024 or an unlimited a pass of Ally in order to access it. Then I'm going to next bring on Scott Joffre. Scott, you can unmute yourself and ask us a question.
Hello.
Hey, Scott.
Hi there. This is actually a webinar with you. So yeah, I saw in the Slack community earlier, someone said it would be pretty cool to have the ally like talk to you while you're like for an alarm. Would that be something that would be like possible?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't quite understand.
So, say if you set an alarm, for like 7 a.m. or something, and your ally will, wake you up, will start talking to you, and you can just have the conversation like and be like, um, I'm gonna sleep in. Can you wake me up in 5 minutes? And it will start talking to you again.
Yes, so that's something currently in the works. So we are sort of building like a reminder stuff within Ally itself. So you can ask Ally for a reminders. It's not yet completely sort of built out yet, but we are working on like a memory and a reminder aspect in Ally where you can either ask it to remember stuff like an image or a receipt or a document, for example. And you can also ask it to remind you about it at your certain point of the day.
Alrighty, that's pretty cool. Also another thing, I know you guys were talking about like navigation, and at some point bringing that to the Ally app, whether it's the glasses, web, or uh, really use it on the web, but the phone. And I would recommend checking out Oko, which is an app for the blind. I think that would be a really cool thing. Personally, I've never used it. But I've heard so much good things. Like I've seen a lot of different people talking about it. Um, I just think that would be a cool thing to have within Ally.
Yeah, sure. We are pretty good friends with the founders of Oko. So yeah, definitely those kinds of integrations is what Ally is aiming towards.
All right, cool. And just in
All
general,
right.
thank you guys for everything you do, and I'm having so much fun with the beta, and I can't wait for the future updates.
Awesome. All right, Scott. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
all the feedback. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. There is a question for Sean from like Cody, who is asking on like YouTube. He wants to know what is the podcast of yours you're called, Sean. Could you just put in a plug for both your podcast and the Facebook group?
Sure. Sure. So my Facebook group is called AI for the Blind. If you're on Facebook and you search AI for the Blind, it'll probably pop right up. And that's the same. I rebranded the podcast as AI for the Blind. So anywhere you listen to podcasts, search for AI for the Blind, all separate words, and you'll find us.
All right. Thanks, Sean. I'm gonna bring on your David onto the podcast. So onto the panel podcast, onto the panel. David, you can unmute yourself and ask us your question. David Blythe, if I'm pronouncing it right. David Blythe, you can unmute yourself and ask us your question. Okay, while we wait for David, I'm going to bring on like Derek. Uh, Derek Cox, you can unmute yourself and ask us a question.
Hi, hello. Also
Hey.
calling from California. I had a question about the glasses and discreteness. I love having the conversation, but there's a lot of situations where I need to be more discreet. And so I was kind of curious. I'm not really sure how people usually go about it. I've seen a few different companies use hand gestures in front of the lenses, but also for someone maybe who has difficulty speaking, I would think it would be a cool idea to have some sort of a small control where you could kind of navigate your options, but the idea is I see to be hands-free. So I do understand that. But that's why I was kind of curious. Do you guys work with perhaps hand gestures to either swipe through some options or to pick up on answering certain things without having to speak out loud?
Yeah, that's a great our question, Derek. So there is a touchpad on the glasses, so that's basically sort of like what you can interact with in order to explore the different options within the glasses, and just like swipe through the features and stuff like that. So that is the primary way to interact with the glasses. So you don't always have to speak to it. Specifically with Ally, one of the things that we are building for both the app and eventually it'll be also on the glasses is an ability to create your own shortcuts, right? And where you can have a pre-filled your prompt that you can already ask an ally when you take an image, right? So, for example, you simply want a description of something in in front of you, so you can already sort of have that as a shortcut that you set up, and then you just navigate to that particular your shortcut on your glasses, and you do a double tap, and then it just immediately just gives you a description of what's in front of you without you having to ask for it. There are some people who have been doing some very specific things with that. For example, you can have a shortcut where you can ask, is the pathway in front of me clear, or is there or are there any obstacles in there, right? So that's a shortcut that you can build, and then you just sort of open that shortcut, and then the ally will simply offer you an answer to that particular question. You can have a shortcut that will, in which you can ask, are there any humans around me, right? And then when you open the shortcut, that's already a prompt that's pre-filled. So ally will come back to you with an answer to that without you having to ever speak to the ally. So that's a way where you can still have the discreteness, and you can have these pre-filled your prompts that you can use to speak to ally.
I see, yes, because there's a lot of situations where I feel like I can find myself utilizing the features of the glasses, but when you're out and about, then people kind of interrupt and if you're already holding your cane or something, they're trying to interrupt and help you, and you're just like, well, I don't really need the help, but I'm in the middle of this conversation, I'm trying to shop or something, or so that's where I was thinking of like more discreetness, or just even there's a lot of situations where just maybe it'll be difficult to do vocal commands, maybe it's a loud environment, but that's really nice to know. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the feature the software yet, so but I've been trying to work my way towards it. But that was one of the bigger things that I was a little concerned about. But thank you for informing us about the touchpad. I don't ever hear you guys in a lot of things discuss that, so it's very nice to know. So thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, no, like 100%. And just like another point would be that so the Ally app on the phone, in addition to the voice mode, you also have a chat mode. So you can also just have a chat, like a text chat with the Ally. So if you are in a discrete environment, you can also just have a chat with it without ever having to speak to it. So those options are also there in addition to the shortcut option. So yeah, but Derek, as in, when you have the access to the beta, we would definitely appreciate more feedback in order to understand how can we further improve the experience and the interface, so that we can make it as useful for you in all the situations that you would want to use it.
Yeah, and just sorry, one last comment about that. The first gentleman who was on here, he asked about it being able to pick up sign language. That's kind of almost similar to what I was discussing about like looking at hand gestures. Is that something that potentially could be possible? Is having a conversation with someone that's also giving you sign language?
I think at some point, yes, because as of now, we're still processing discrete images in the glasses. So we're not sort of processing a video stream itself. So I think that capability is not that far off. So as soon as we're able to start processing your video streams, you're reading a sign language is something that's very much within the scope of the possibilities. But as of now, since we're still taking a discrete images at intervals, we might miss some of the signs that like a person is showing. But I think it's definitely something that's on the horizon of us being able to do, I would say soon enough.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all you guys do.
All right, Derek, thank you so much for your questions. And David, I see you have your mic unmuted. Hi.
Thank you for what you're doing. Welcome from Melbourne, Australia, and I would say welcome to tomorrow.
David, your voice is not totally clear. It's almost like you're very far away from your mic.
How about that? Is that better?
Not really, but I do understand your question. So yeah, maybe I'll just try to listen to it.
What I want to know is, do I need an internet connection when I'm in the street looking for property numbers or names, or if I'm in the greengrocer, will it tell me whether I'm looking at apples or pears or whatever?
Sorry, can you just repeat that one more time, David? Because yeah, it's not very clear, your audio still.
The question is, when I'm in the street, will I need an internet connection to tell me if a property name or a property number, or if I'm in the greengrocer, will it tell me the difference between apples and pears and whatever?
Understood. So you're asking, if you're on the street, would you require an internet connection to help you, to read a sign or a street name or a number? And if you're in a supermarket, can you ask if you're looking at a pear or apples and things like that? So the answer to the first question is, with the glasses, David, there are a set of your features. There are some features that are available offline, and there are some features that are that are only available online. So, for example, there's a feature called instant text that's available offline on the device. So, if you just want to read a piece of text, for example, a street name or or like a house number or like a shop name, then to do all of those things, you can simply use instant text, and then you don't need to have an internet connection. All of that happens on device completely offline. So just to read a piece of text, you can do it completely offline. If you want to actually have help recognizing your fruits and stuff like that in a supermarket, then you will either have to use a describe scene or Ally eventually. And both of those features are features that do require an internet connection. So you will have to have your internet if you do want to use either of those features, either through a personal hotspot of your phone, or by connecting to like a Wi-Fi that's available out there.
Thank you.
All right, David, thank you so much, and I wish you a good day. All right, I think with that, we will have to bring the webinar to a close. We are already at 10 minutes over. I still see a lot of raised hands and a lot of things in the Q&A that I might not have been able to get around to. I totally appreciate all of you for coming on here and having a chat with us. If there is something that's burning as a question that you've not been able to ask me here, once you're in the beta, your Slack community, definitely upping me on there, and I will answer all the questions that you have. If you're not in the beta yet, you can shoot out an email to us to support@letsenvision.com, and our team will answer each and every question that you have. So if I'm not being able to get to you in this webinar, I am sorry. But we do have a short your bandwidth on here, but we will do our best to answer all the questions that you have. With that, I wish you all a good Halloween, a good Diwali, and an exciting weekend ahead. And we will continue to share all the amazing updates of Envision, of Ally on our socials. So we will see you out there.